I guess content warning for anyone watching. There's going to be some extreme violence displayed on screen right now, so if that's not something that you're able to stomach, if you need, maybe take, I don't know, 10 minutes out, just so we can go through this footage. I have to show this just for a matter of public record, but please, you know, take care of yourselves first and foremost. Strong content warning before this extreme acts of violence. All right, let's go. Security camera footage. Oh my God, there it is. Look at this. I mean, maybe it helps if you add the sound effects. It's hard not to hear. All right, well, one of the biggest headlines that happened over the weekend. I'm sure all of you heard that, unfortunately, Rudy Giuliani was the victim of a assault. The assaulter may be one of the CEOs of Antifa. We're not entirely sure yet. The details are scarce. We're still trying to find out what exactly happened. But no matter what occurs, no matter how upset you may be, it is never right to use violence against your political opponents, especially not in this form. You've gone too far. All right, Antifa, someone whom I have often tried to defend you and defend your causes in the past. Now I have to report on this and see the violence and the chaos that you have fucking unleashed upon the world. This is just wild. Can't believe you would go to these lengths. So former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani claimed on Monday that he could have died after a man slapped him on the back. Slapped him on the back. Jesus. During an appearance on Real America's Voice with Steve Bannon, Giuliani recalled the alleged assault by supermarket employee Daniel Gill. "I'm okay. I mean, I'm in pain," Giuliani told Bannon. "The guy knocked me forward 2 or 3 steps. Luckily, I didn't fall." Giuliani said that he realized what was happening when the man who allegedly slapped him began yelling about abortion rights. "He started yelling at me like I'm a woman killer," he recalled. "We have to arrest him because we gotta make a point of this. These people can't keep doing this. I mean, I'm 78 or 79. I don't even remember." Giuliani suggested that he could have died, citing an uncle who passed away after falling down. "The simple fact is they are violent, and basically, we're not," the former mayor opined. "That's why January 6th is such an aberration, and why I have my own thoughts about January 6th. The one where the day before you were on a podium saying, let's have trial by combat? That day, Rudy?" Bannon observed that he had not seen any coverage of Giuliani's alleged attack on Fox News. "They never put it on Fox News? Traitors." Giuliani complained that Fox News instead reported on Lee Zeldin, who was challenging his son for former New York governor. But the fact that the mayor of New York, one of the 2 living ex-mayors of New York, and probably, I'd say modestly, the most famous, was assaulted is not even on Fox, Giuliani said. Even if Putin got assaulted, it would be on Fox. All right, let's hear this.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm in pain, but it was a shock. The guy hit me really hard, knocked me forward about 2 or 3 steps. Luckily, I didn't fall, and didn't realize what happened until he started cursing and yelling, and then all of a sudden I realized what was going on. He started yelling at me that I'm a woman killer, a woman killer, a woman killer. We have to arrest him because we got to make a point of this. These people can't keep doing this. I mean, I'm 78, 79, I don't even remember. I feel like I'm 35, but I'm not, and if I had hit the ground, I don't know what could have happened. My uncle died because he fell, and my uncle was a fairly young man. And this guy's going to go around keep doing this. I mean, he does it to me, he's going to do it to a lot of other people.
Who else will he attack?
You know, the simple fact is they're violent, and basically we're not. That's why January 6th is such a aberration, and why I have my own thoughts about January.
Weird, because I would have thought, you know, there's all these right-wing militia groups that are causing violence all across the United States. I don't know, the Proud Boys, the Three Percenters, take your pick. I mean, those are the ones who kind of operate in the open. The Boogaloo Boys as well. The other ones kind of are usually far-right neo-Nazi groups who also committed acts of horrifying violence. The number one cause of domestic terrorism in the United States happens to be far-right extremists. But again, you know, this is Rudy's version of the story. I figured, why don't we actually take a look at the event itself? You know, Rudy claims, "I got hit on the back as if a boulder had hit me." My God. So let's watch the footage. All right, here we are. Oh, we're almost at the actual inciting incident. I guess content warning for anyone watching. There's going to be some extreme violence displayed on screen right now. So if that's not something that you're able to stomach, if you need, maybe take, I don't know, 10 minutes out, just so we can go through this footage. I have to show this just for a matter of public record, but please, take care of yourselves first and foremost. Strong content warning before this extreme acts of violence. All right, let's go. Security camera footage. Oh my God, there it is. Look at this. I mean, maybe it helps if you add the sound effects. It's hard not to hear. All right, let's rewind it. And he's still standing. He's still standing. He survived. He survived. I don't know how he survived. I don't know what his technique was there, but he actually survived that. Harrowing stuff. Boom. Right there. Wow. Oh my. Maybe we'll add some other sound effects here to show everyone how serious this is. Hadouken! 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 Shit. Well, yeah, miracle that he's still standing. This is good stuff. Meanwhile, other things that were happening on the same day. This is one of the actors from Full House, also a journalist, also trying to archive what was happening at the protest, being literally tossed by the police. This is one of many examples you can see, by the way, over the course of the weekend. A lot of, very brave people covering what was happening in Arizona. They were full on just firing gas canisters at people from the building itself. Numerous acts of police brutality, police violence taking place all over the place. It was a pretty violent weekend. Luckily, there's not any serious reported injuries as of this time, but this would be what I would describe as violence. What happened to Rudy Giuliani, I would describe as getting a slap on the back. I mean, you could make the argument that it's inappropriate to slap a stranger. It's inappropriate to slap anyone that you are not friends with or have consent to, even if it is a little, hey, how's it going? Or like, hey, by the way, you're an asshole, something to that effect. But yeah, there was a lot of real violence that took place over the weekend. This is total sidebar, and I know we're talking about the news right now, but I found this morning, and it blew my mind. It plays into this whole thing. Now, there's two terms you hear a lot coming from the right, okay? They're usually triggered. Are you triggered, lefties? Does this trigger you? And snowflakes. Are you coward? Are you a bunch of snowflake cucks? Have you been triggered by me? Are you now going to become a snowflake before me? And it's pretty self-evident at this point that these are some of the softest human beings on the planet. Like, they cannot take even the slightest pushback. They live but for to drink those sweet liberal tears to get the owns. That's all they really care about on a very, very regular basis. But when it comes to actually when any of this stuff happens to them, including state violence and stuff, all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, whoa, I've never heard of this. Triggered, by the way, is a term that's supposed to be used for people who experience things like PTSD. So does something trigger you that then puts you in a state that is going to be difficult to get through because, again, you are experiencing trauma or reliving trauma a second time, but they've taken it, reappropriated it, and now it's the name of Donald Trump Jr.'s book. So hey, it's just one of those words that they're trying to dilute until it has no meaning. Anyways, there was a segment on how well did the wives of Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, how well did their husbands know their wives? And this was such a telling segment for me.
For two, would he rather do laundry or do dishes? A little straightforward here. Ben, we're going to start with you again.
Dishes.
All right, Matt?
It's kind of a trick question because I hate them both equally. But I guess I would say I would rather do the dishes. But I'd prefer if she just did both of the things.
Michael, to you.
Dishes, it's no question. I'm not sure in our entire marriage if I've ever done a full load of laundry. So I think I have that one.
I like it. All right, Drew?
Well, this is a trick question because I have not done anything around the house for 40 years. I've been a completely useless. But it's clear that if I had to...
Keep in mind, by the way, These are the alpha boys. The alpha boys are back. These are the ones who are constantly telling you about the soy boy lefties, the softies, you know, the cucks, the snowflakes, but these are the alphas. These are the alphas right here.
Shoes, it would have to be dishes because she was just out of town for a month and I actually called her up and said, how do you do laundry? So I think dishes is the only thing I know how to do.
All right, to the answers. Ben, you answered dishes. Mrs. Shapiro said, I'm not sure Ben knows how to do laundry, so I'll go with the dishes. Which he does quite often, and she threw in a little thanks, hun. Matt, you answered, I hate them both, but dishes. Your wife said dishes, and she also threw in, he doesn't know how to do the laundry. Again, being thrown under the bus.
True.
Michael, you answered dishes. Your wife said neither, but if there was a gun to his head, he would choose dishes. And Drew, finally, you answered, I don't do anything but the dishes if I had to. And your wife put, again in all caps here, very forceful answer, since he doesn't know how to do laundry, as we learned when I was out of town for several weeks, I'm guessing it's the dishes.
We don't know how to clean ourselves. We're fucking 45-year-old men, none of whom know how to do the laundry. What the fuck is this shit, you men babies? Holy fuck. And I think this plays into the whole worldview, obviously. It's like, well, I mean, we've often said that we want trad wives. We want to have live-in bang maids. That's basically what we've been advocating for. So this checks out. I mean, yeah, none of us know how to do that. Like that last one. Your wife was gone for a period of 2 weeks and you just refused to do the laundry during that time. Didn't even have the foresight to be like, well, maybe I should just bring this to a dry cleaner or someone who I can pay to do it for me. You just lived in your own stank. This shit is disgusting. Like, honestly, these are supposed to be the role models. This is honestly one of the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard 4 grown men like confess to live on camera in 4K. Your wives, each one of your wives was like, yeah, he has no idea how to do laundry. So what happens when your wife is not in town or out of your life in any way, shape, or form? You just live in your own stank. You just don't. It's the easiest fucking thing in the world. You don't even have to do it well. Like, how young were all of you when you learned that, like, you know, we should separate the whites from the color laundry so that they don't bleed. You should use cold water, otherwise you might experience shrinkage or stuff like that. Laundry is such an easy task nowadays. Maybe if this was like, you know, the 1800s, there would be an argument where like, well, it's quite arduous, you know, to have to manually ruffle through all your clothing, and it takes about a couple hours. But nowadays, it's like you throw it into a machine, you push a start button, and then it comes out clean. That's the process now. And by the way, again, these are the alpha boys. The alpha boys who talk about the soy boy cucks. You are all in a perpetual state of arrested development. Like, all of you are men babies. Men babies who require bang maids in order to be able to survive in life. And what do you offer? I might add. What's the deal here? What does everyone get in? Like, this person said they've been married for 40 years and has barely cooked or cleaned that entire time, and clearly all their wives are the ones doing that. I can't tell if this is a class thing, if all of them are like, oh, well, cleaning and cooking and laundry is when you pay a maid to do it all for you. That's how I always handle it. Doesn't everyone have a live-in cleaner / cook / that, or it's just they're poor wives. They're poor wives. They're living this entire 1950s aesthetic to a T. I mean, I guess they're living by their own beliefs, but this sounds fucking horrid. And for what? For the dude who only learned from a Cardi B song that vaginas get wet? That's the first time he found out about that? That sounds fucking great. Matt Walsh, who's like, yeah, you know, you basically have sex once a year if you have to in missionary position while crying tears of sadness. Like, so what are they getting out of this deal? What is the deal? A life of 0 orgasms, no pleasure, and then you just have to cook and clean for these assholes while they just spend their days making money being transphobic. That's pretty much the deal. That's it. In summary, I think Rudy's gonna be okay. I think he'll recover. And I think everything's gonna be all right. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just. we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.